And we're back. Weapons of mass discussion. I have Heavy Kev from Donkey Punch, and I have Jeff also from Donkey Punch with me, and we're doing a rundown. We're just gonna do our top 5 stoner rock albums. So let's just get to it. Heavy Kev, what's your number one choice here?
Well, not number one. I'll go five.
Oh,
you
not
you
yet.
lead it up. You
Oh,
you gotta lead it up, and then you
okay.
blow your load.
Okay.
You know. So
Gotta tease it first.
you tease it in there. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, my number 5 would be actually a supergroup, and it would be the Company Band. It's a Confusing World. That album is just freaking awesome. I mean, you got Neil Fallon on vocals, you got Fireball Ministry, you got I can't remember who else.
Is it because of the stoner rock?
It would be because of the stoner rock in me right now, man. But there are some amazing songs on there. I mean, Hot Topic Woman. I mean, oh my God, that album is just. So I'd say that's my number 5.
Nice. I'm gonna go with an old standard, and I had to do a theme. So when I think stoner rock, there's a very specific thing I think of, and that's Black Sabbath, and I have to go with Black Sabbath, featuring the song Black Sabbath. In case you're ever wondering, how
Written
much
by Black Sabbath.
How much Sabbath you could take? Yeah, written and produced by Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath Records.
You can't get more Black Sabbath than that.
Right, exactly. It came on one time and I was like, yeah, there's none more Sabbath. All right, Jeff, what do you got?
I am going in no particular order.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just grabbing 5 things that popped freshest into my mind.
Okay.
Yes. Something very current is Bongzilla's Weedsconsin. Just enjoy very harsh stoner metal and really trippy album covers.
Nice. We'll have that on the stream so you guys can see what we're talking about. But these stoner rock bands, they have a lot of cool covers. Like they put some
very
time
psychedelic
into
and scary.
The image,
But about weed.
Exactly. It's the name of the game. All right, what you got, Kev?
All right. Well, the next one, people might say that's not stoner rock, but I have to say that you hear a lot of this band influenced with a lot of the stoner rock bands that you have right now, and I'm gonna go way, way back here.
Rush.
No, I am not going with Rush, but Rush, yes, that's more.
Well, there's Passage to Bangkok.
The Passion,
a weed song,
but
there's one song.
I'm talking about a band from overseas who came here and not the Beatles either. No, I'm talking about Zeppelin. So, and I am gonna go with Houses of the Holy, because you have the transition from Song Remains the Same to the Rain Song is just killer, and of course No Quarter, which that's
amazing
song. So
I enjoy the Crowbar version of No Quarter.
I bet that's heavy.
That is, I've heard it. It's killer, but there's nothing like the original Zeppelin version of it. I mean, it's just, so that's going to be my number 4 is Houses of the Holy by Zeppelin.
All right, well, I'll take your House of the Holy, and I'm going to up you one. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. I mean, what can we say about it? It's their second album, probably their most famous album, and just a really cool album to get in the proper headspace and then enjoy your stoner rock. So, you know the songs, Iron Man and Paranoid, War Pigs. They're all classics. It's a banger all the way through. So I'm never gonna not say Black Sabbath, Paranoid in the stoner rock conversation.
There we go.
Yeah. What you got, Jeff?
Let's go with the ultimate stoner rock song that happens to be an album. And Sleep's Dope Smoker.
Yeah.
It's an hour long. about a bong-toking caravan of priests bringing peace to the Middle East through hash and marijuana and the ways to smoke it and not be dicks or whatever the hell's going on over there. Very cool album. Artwork, of course, very interesting, very unique. Brings the whole tone of the song and the theme of these characters to life. So, and obviously if you're gonna, have a weed smoking session, you might as well have an hour-long song to do it during.
Makes sense. Didn't they press out copies of that and they had actual like weed leaves in the vinyl?
They did a repressing,
Yeah.
yes. There's been a lot of cool ones. When they do it live, they spaced out where the album would need to be changed and cut for the next side or the next disc, and they have a feedback section. So when they have the live version of that song, it's on for vinyl, but they fades in and out to the next section of the song through feedback. So they practice recording it live so it would fit.
Nice.
Very smart stoners, very smart.
That is ingenious.
But I'm going with the regular old remaster release because it's been remastered a bunch of times. Everyone's getting their hands on it to try to make it sonically perfect. But I think either way you get your hands on it, cassette, vinyl, CD, MP3, just turn it to 9 million on the volume and, as the lyrics say, drop out of life with bong in hand.
Perfect for stoner rock.
Yes.
All right, what you got, Kev?
All right, I am going to go with an album that when I heard this, I thought it was just amazing. And on this album, they had where the guitar player decided to start doing vocals, although he did do vocals on one song on the previous album. But I'm going with COC Deliverance.
Oh,
and I just, that is just, I mean, that's just a banger all the way through, man. I mean, especially, Albatross, Heaven's Not Overflowing, Clean My Wounds. I mean,
front to back. I mean, that so
and just Pepper Keenan's vocals on that are just insane. I mean, what a great you switch like that, and what a great way to switch because that album just is killer.
Right.
So yeah,
For
so
sure.
Corrosion of Conformity, Deliverance.
I would have picked that, but I'm going with the theme.
There you go. Let me guess, you're gonna do ABBA.
No, I'm gonna stick with the Bees.
Barry Manilow.
How about Black Sabbath, Masters of Reality?
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so many good songs, as Sweet Leaf is, like, on this album, so specifically about stoner rock. And After Forever, Children of the Grave, Lord of this World, Into the Void is, like, one of the heaviest, like, riffs
And
that's
CLC
ever
covered
been
Lord of this World.
They did,
written.
yeah.
And they did an awesome job.
Way to segue, guys. Did you know you were going to do that?
No, I
No,
don't.
but I'm going to segue into yours. What's your next pick?
Well, I guess I'm going to do, because there's only 4 to pick from out of this band. So choose your favorite, because they're all weed smoking classics. I'm going to go with Caius, Welcome to Sky Valley.
Yeah, makes sense.
Space Cadet, Jardiniere, they got
Yeah.
many hits on many sides over and over. Let's just keep rocking and rolling. Flip it again to listen to it again. It keeps you satisfied. There's a few long jams, few short jams, some space out, some sound effecty, feedbacky, drum echoing, space odyssey type interludes, and it, really brings it home when the riffs come together and the jam starts again, and might as well do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's 4 albums in their career. There's not a lot of room for error. You could pick either of them, any of them.
Right. I would have went for Blues for the Red Sun, but that's just me. But that's also like those two have to be their best albums, like in my opinion. And then of course, Josh went on to do the Queens of the Stone Age thing.
You know, if you like the Caius, the Vistachino's cool. Unita's cool. You know, those guys are
they have a bunch
Caius people doing near Caius music. Good stuff.
All right, what you got, Kev?
So when I think of stoner rock, there's a couple bands that I think of. And
Well, you're supposed to think of 5 for this.
Oh, I did. I'm on number 2 now. Okay, so I have named some of them, but one of the bands that's at the top,
Should be
obviously
3.
number 2, would be this band I'm wearing right here, Monster Magnet.
Yeah.
Now, when I think there's so many great albums to choose of, but
Dopes to Infinity.
I am not going with Dopes to Infinity.
Of course you wouldn't.
I am going to go with Super Judge, the album
Oh,
before
yeah.
Dopes to Infinity. That album is just killer. And I heard Dopes to Infinity. That's how I got turned on to them.
Yeah.
And I heard, of course, on the radio, Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Easy for you to say.
And then I heard Super Judge, and I was just like, yes. That was what? A Dinosaur Vacuum.
Twin Earth.
Yeah, the cover that they do of Howling Wolf Evil is just amazing. I mean, that is just... to do a blues cover like that is just, oh my God. And that's really what got me into Monster Magnet so much, where I was like, you can take this blues cover and just make it heavy and awesome. And they made it into their own. And so I'm going with Monster Magnet Super Judge.
That's the one that the first Monster Magnet I ever had was
Was
Super
it?
Judge.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I went back and got Spine of God,
and Tab.
Ozium and Tab, and I went backwards. But
well, even after that, I mean, God Says No and Power Trip, and I mean, even their newer stuff is just, I mean, it's just insane. They're just an awesome, amazing band.
Definitely. The next band, like, I kind of feel like most of the bands wouldn't be here without this band. I'm not going to harp on it, but Black Sabbath Volume 4. I mean, it doesn't get much stoner rock than that. I mean, it's just a classic album. I can't say enough good things about it.
Everybody rips off the cover.
Yeah. It's like a banger all these years later. Like, it's the one that's remembered. Probably, to be honest with you, it's my favorite Black Sabbath album, Volume 4.
I love that album, and I think the cool thing is that it shows their diversity in that album. I mean, that they get, I mean, Sabbath is known as this heavy, and then you got a song like Changes on there, I mean, which is, it shows that they can be mellow and, but that Volume 4 is a killer Sabbath album. I mean,
for sure.
Well, let's see here. Again, another band you could pick almost any album, old or new, and there's plenty in between. But if you're going to smoke a J, you got to also throw it back to the classics. So they do it on this album. So I'm talking about Fu Manchu eating Dust Godzilla.
Yeah.
So sure, you get the Fu Manchu jams, and they're all choice jams. And then they come out with the most fuzzed out version of Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
So like the songs, maybe 4 minutes, something like that, but you just want to smoke 4,000 joints during it.
And you can actually rip the time-space continuum.
There we go. Yeah.
And visit Godzilla's world.
Yeah. That's great. I was just talking about Blue Oyster Cult earlier. They're like one of those bands that's like underrated.
Yeah.
From back in the day.
So he's the flame of rock and roll.
We did that BLC. What did we do?
Oh, Burning
for You. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that at a couple shows. Yeah, that's a fun song.
All right, so what you got, Kev?
All right, so my number 1 which when I think of stoner rock, this is the band who I think defines stoner rock and really has made it what it is today. And without this band, a lot of the bands that you hear now would definitely not be stoner rock.
Is it Black Sabbath?
It's not.
Don't try to get my shtick.
It is not Black Sabbath.
That's my thing. Yeah.
It would be Clutch, a band who I have seen 30 times. Every album is amazing. I absolutely love Clutch. But there's one album which the album that turned me on to Clutch, and I can just listen to and just sit back and just get super baked, and that would be self-titled Clutch Clutch. And a song like Big News 1 and 2, you just sit back, and then of course the best song to get stoned to, of course, Space Grass. I mean, what is that? It's definitely appropriate, to get stoned to that. And
choice.
Yeah, that is going to be my number one. Would be Clutch.
Nice. Well, my number one is going to be really surprising, because I'm going to do Black Sabbath Sabotage. Like, this album, like, they weren't afraid to take chances. There's like synthesizers all over this, but like done in a cool, like creepy, almost like horror movie way, as opposed to being like, like new wave keyboards or something like that. But they weren't afraid to take chances. There's so many bangers on this. As far as, even though it's not my favorite Black Sabbath album, it's my favorite Black Sabbath stoner rock album. So yeah, my top choice, Black Sabbath Sabotage.
Very, very underrated album too. Very underrated. I mean, people, you think of the first 4 albums and then nobody really talks about Sabotage, but that is an amazing album too.
Hell yeah. For sure. We'll wrap this up, Jeff.
Let's see. I was torn between Nebula and Orange Goblin. Orange Goblin, Nebula. When am I gonna pick? But I think
Rush. You're gonna go with Rush, right?
So you can like
Rush. 2112.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. Any Rush album is gonna stand out on any list, but
of course.
where I'm just picking, things in my head that pop up when I hear stoner metal or stoner rock, excuse me. So I am gonna go with Orange Goblin's Time Travel Blues. Why not? It's fucking biker, stoner, rock and roll. It's got the drinking, boozy lyrics, the guitar solos, the drum jams. It's got everything. You can go straight up and down Orange Goblin or Nebula or any of these bands. They're all got if you like that sound, every album is going to be a smoking album for you. But man, does Orange Goblin kick a lot of ass. So I'm going to go with them as my last one.
There you go. So that wraps it up. Top 15 stoner rock albums of all time on Weapons of Mass Discussion. I want to thank Heavy Kev, Jeff. Thanks for being my guest, and don't forget to like.
And let's thank Zach.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, I congratulate myself. So if you like this, like, subscribe, ring the bell, support me, so you can have better videos.
What do you do on Facebook? You ring the bell?
Yeah, you ring the bell.
Did you put this on the Instagram?
It's going to be everywhere.
TikTok.
Everywhere, coming at you. Weapons of Mass Discussion.